Welcome back to my channel, everyone. My name is Riley, and today I want to take you through the process of making a custom bullet journal from start to finish. So this right here is the journal that we're using for this customer. It is the vanilla journal available in my shop. The link, of course, is down below. And like I said, I want to take you through every part. So the first couple of bits I actually did off camera. Because number one, they're kind of boring, and number two, they're on my computer and stuff like that. So each customer fills out a Google form to customize their journal, and I take that Google form and summarize everything on this one page that you can see right here. So I have the customer's name at the top. I write down how many months are in this journal, whether it's full doodle or minimal doodle, whether they want their calendar to start on Sunday or Monday, whether they like, like washi tape stickers, collage materials or not. And then I split things into yearly, monthly, weekly, and then themes and notes are the sections that I normally have. However, this person didn't ask for any yearly spreads and they didn't leave me any notes. So I've only got 3 sections here for this 6-month journal. So that is the first part, which I already went ahead and did off camera. And the second part is also just kind of boring and hard to see what's going on. So I did that part off camera too. So let's get into the journal here. This is a 192 page journal with 160 GSM paper. And in the top corner of each page, I just write what is going to be on that page. And this is like chicken scratch. Like, I don't expect anyone but me to ever need to read it or even be able to read it. If it's a weekly page, I'll just write like the dates for that week. So like 8 to 14 or whatever. And then if it's like a monthly title page, I'll just write like SEP title, SEP calendar, like that kind of stuff. And I only ever write in the top right hand corner of the right page, so that it's easy for me at the end to just go ahead and erase it all. So now getting into the actual design and setup of the journal, this is going to be like day one of working on this journal. Now I will say, I'm not actually sure if this was exactly one day. I think probably roughly this is what I accomplished in one day. I just kind of have been chipping away at this during my son's naps. So he takes 2 naps a day that usually total around 3 hours. So when I have a custom journal to work on, I basically just put him to bed, go straight to my desk and work for the full time. Might take a break to grab some snacks. But yeah, so this video is kind of roughly what I accomplished during a day's worth of naps. Now the first theme here is for the month of May, and it's this little potted plant. And this is a very, I don't know, I guess basic theme, nothing too complicated about it. I did get this sort of stylistic idea from a creator on Instagram called Living Letter Plants. I will link her profile down below. The thing that I love most about her Instagram account is that every month she films a reel with March's doodles or April's doodles, and she just kind of gives you a tutorial of each of the individual pieces that she drew in her monthly theme. And so this style was very much inspired by her, with kind of layering different markers, not usually using a black outline. So anyways, go check her out if you're interested. And so as you can see, for the monthly pages here, this customer of course has a title page, and then on the other side here we have some trackers. So when you go to choose your different pages that you want in your journal, you can really choose anything for your monthly pages. Of course, on the Google form there are some like basics, like a habit tracker, a mood tracker, a calendar, a meal planner, a budget page, things like that. But I do also take special requests. But this person requested a list style tracker as opposed to like a box style, which looks more like a calendar. And we've got habits over to the left and mood over to the right, with space for all 31 days. Now the next monthly pages here is her spending log and then her meal planner. And one step that I often do when I'm making custom journals, but did not have to do in this one, is normally if a customer asks for anything that involves a calendar, like either a big events calendar or habit trackers that are in the shape of like that monthly calendar, I always do those first. Like before I start drawing the monthly themes, the only thing I wait until I've done is just like writing in the top corner, so that I know which pages are going to be the habit tracker pages and which pages are going to be the calendar pages and stuff. But before I ever go in with any color, I will go and just draw in every single calendar that needs to be drawn in this journal. For me, drawing calendars is my least favorite part of the entire bullet journaling process. I love the doodles. I even like making, like different weekly layouts. Even if they're repetitive to me, I find them more enjoyable than making calendars. So I get that out of the way right at the start. It's also nice because then I'll just open up my iPad or my computer with the whole year's worth of calendars and just draw them in all at once. So it's not like every time I start a new month in the journal, I have to pull up the calendar, I have to remember my calendar spacing. It just keeps all that stuff open on my laptop, fresh in my brain, easy to do. But since she didn't have any calendars involved in her setup, I went straight in to do the monthly pages. And her spending log is a bit different than what I usually do. For most things, I kind of have like a default layout that I will do if you don't request anything different. So for my like default expenses or budget or spending page, I would normally have a section for spending, a section for savings, a section for income, and for bills. And that's just kind of what I default to, but I always ask, like, do you have anything specific in mind? And this time she did. So she wanted just spending, no income or bills or anything. And then I've split it between cash and credit, and she's going to color code things according to what sort of category they fall in, like groceries or entertainment or transportation, that kind of stuff. So that was the monthly pages for the month of May. Now, I just do things in this order. I don't know, I always set up all of the monthly pages first, come up with all of the themes first, and then go back in and do all the weekly spreads later on. And you know what, when I started off doing custom journals, I just started doing it like this because I didn't have those like weekly spread like measurements as ingrained in my brain as they are now, so I wanted to do all of the weekly spreads that were this one layout at a time so that I could remember all the spacing, remember how many dot grid spaces go here and there and whatnot, and so on. So that's why I started off doing it like this, and I've just kind of continued doing it. Even though I have all of my weekly spacing guides like memorized in my head, I still tend to do all of the monthly pages first. And oftentimes the days when I'm working on monthly pages, like the titles and calendars and trackers and all that kind of stuff, I'll usually, like film a reel or take pictures of that content. In this case, I was filming it for a YouTube video. And then the days when I'm just working on weekly spreads, those ones aren't nearly as photogenic, especially if I'm doing a minimal doodle journal, which I am for this one. So on those days, I'll often choose something to have on my computer or my phone or something in the background, either a YouTube video to watch or a podcast or just music or something like that. So here I've moved on to June, as you can see, and she wanted a dinosaur theme, which I did a dinosaur theme for myself in the month of February, but the colors that I used were very different. They were very earthy and soft, and I'm going to link that video up here if you want to check it out. But like kind of the layout and arrangement of my title page was very, very similar to what I have here, but I just swapped out the colors for brighter ones and then did those little flower doodles. Now the habit tracker and mood tracker are the same like in practice as the ones that I did in the month of May, but she's going to flip the journal sideways to use it for this month. And I alternated between those two layouts throughout the entire journal. So it's always like the list style tracker, but just sometimes it's on its side like this and other times it's upright like the other one. So I do plan to do like sort of a little series here for this journal. Like I said, this is kind of day one of working on the journal. Again, not an exact day, but I'm going to be doing probably, I would say 4 days to get through this journal is what I'm anticipating. So I would love to hear from you guys down in the comments. What kinds of questions do you have about the custom journal process, or just other questions for me in general? I'm going to be honest, one of the most difficult things about posting regularly on YouTube, for me anyways, is coming up with things to talk about in my voiceovers. I am not generally a super like chatty person. I can't just pull conversations out of thin air like some people can. And so I find myself repeating things a lot, just kind of talking about mundane things like my spacing and my supplies or whatever. And I know those things are good. I mean, when I watch YouTube videos, I like to hear that stuff. If someone draws a calendar that I love but doesn't say what the spacing was, it kind of frustrates me. But I do want more ideas of things that I can talk to you guys about, especially since this will be sort of a series and every month is going to have the same pages. The weekly spreads are not going to be that different. There's really not going to be that much just like organically for me to talk about. But I do get lots of questions from people about how to make custom journals, how to get started with that kind of thing. And so if you have some of those questions, feel free to drop those in the comments of this video, and I'll try to address them as we go through this series and finish this custom journal. So as you can see, the monthly pages here are coming together. And with my custom journals, I've worked it out so that each journal, no matter, sorry, this is, for some reason I'm struggling for the words here. So that no matter how many months, you're gonna have space for all of your pages in one journal. You know, like for myself in my own actual journal, I go through more than one a year, but I wanted it to work out so that even if people choose to have 12 months in a journal, I can fit that in one journal. And so what that looks like for me is having a total of 4 monthly pages, which is what you're seeing me set up. So a title page, in her case, the other ones are trackers, spending log, and meal log. That's 4 monthly pages. Then you've got a 2-page spread for each week of the year, and that leaves about 6 pages for yearly spreads if you're using a 160-page journal. If you're using 192, you do have a little bit more wiggle room for the yearly pages, but it's not quite enough pages to add like an extra couple of monthly pages at the start. So that's just the format that I stick to, is 4 monthly pages for every month, like a 2-page weekly spread, and then at the beginning of the year I have a little bit more flexibility, but it's usually around 6 pages. So that's how I make sure that all of my custom journals will fit into one journal. And even though this journal here is only for 6 months, I stick to that same template, you know, because a 12-month journal costs basically twice as much as a 6-month journal. So I want people to be getting what they're paying for, you know, and getting twice as many pages, twice as many hours of my work, that kind of thing. So as you can see, we've moved on here to the month of July, and she requested an ocean theme for this month. I'm using a bunch of zebra mild liners and just doing like kind of micro doodles. You know, what I like about micro doodles is, and I don't know, did I just make up the term micro doodles? It sounds kind of weird now that I'm saying it, but what I like about small little doodles like this is that they really require so little detail. You just go in with one color and draw a few squiggles here, a few squiggles there. You can see I've got starfish, I've got a school of fish, I've got a jellyfish, and some waves. And you just kind of sprinkle those all around, and you don't need to be good at drawing sea life, marine life. You can just do quick little doodles and totally get away with it. So this is the last month that you'll see me draw on this day of setup. And in the next video, you can expect to see, I'm guessing, the next 3 months. Since this is just a 6-month journal, we'll have 3 and 3. And then after that, of course, we've still got the weekly pages left, and we've still got the yearly pages. And the yearly pages are what I love to end off with. It just feels like a nice way to kind of tie up all the loose ends and make sure that her yearly pages really fit with kind of the vibe that they've had going for the rest of the year. And if there are, you know, things they've asked me to use, designs or colors or stationery or something that I haven't used in the monthly pages, I'll always try to incorporate those into the yearly spreads.